Namaste and welcome everyone. This is our bi-weekly joining session for all the Chapter 20 partners who are joining to look at beliefs and desires that are given in A Course in Miracles. Through this chapter, we look at the beliefs and the desires that we have to deny love, to deny divine nature. And so this joining is an invitation to all those who are doing the program or who want to learn more about this program, to share your experiences of going through Chapter 20 together with your partner. So we have some questions that we ask, and I'll read those to begin. And we'll begin with the infinite light. First, always. One of the questions is, what desires did you look at with Jesus this week? I'll just go through all of them. What did he teach you about these desires? And are there some desires that seemed easier or harder to release to miracles? And what we do at the center is we're paired up by Jesus in prayer together with Jesus and our brother. We spend about 40 to 50 minutes a day going through one or two desires from Chapter 20 together. So every day for about 40 to 50 minutes. That's the commitment to this, is to let Jesus show us what desires we have below our level of awareness. And so we begin with these, and these are a way to help us learn to have a conversation with Jesus and learn the naturalness of hearing the voice within. So hearing him, hearing the voice through our brother, hearing it through ourselves, and speaking that voice, learning to just speak the voice and see that it's natural. And then following the guidance that comes through this devotion to looking at the denials of love. So one of the desires we looked at this week, my partner and I looked at, you believe if you appeal for truth that you will be judged against. You desire to miscreate an experience that if you appeal for truth, you fear you will be judged against. Yet this is the means by which you judge yourself and find yourself guilty. And so then what we would do is just check in with the light. And so we begin with the light, and then we look at the relishing of this desire, and just let Jesus show us all the ways that we want this to be true, that we want the desire to be true, and not that we want to deny this. So
I'm hearing a prompt to point out the distinction that Jesus has given us between relishing and between reliving it
Mhm.
or imagining it and
Mhm.
living it through the story
Mhm.
that we have about it. And this has grown in awareness as I practice this, looking at the relishing, because there's really a big difference between looking at the wanting and the relishing of a desire and the living or the story around that desire. And what I've noticed in this practice of looking is that the relishing is fairly clean. It's direct. Whereas when I'm into the story, there's all kinds of stuff going on in my mind. And if I just look at the relishing, it's much easier to open to a miracle than if I'm constantly in my mind with all the images there about and the concepts about that particular desire. So yeah, that's just a good place to look as you're going through these chapter 20 desires and beliefs with a partner.
Yeah, that's the reminder to go below the emotion, the thoughts, the feelings, and the emotions that come up with this direct looking, which it is direct. And so what we've seen is that there can be resistance to looking this directly. And I was actually talking to Jesus about that. Because I was noticing over the course of the last couple of weeks that there was a desire to avoid this sort of directness that he's offering, where we can just go directly to the desire, and then we do not get involved in the story at all. So we just completely stay out of the story. And just let him guide us through it, and ask him what miracles are needed. What do I need to see? What is most helpful? And then he just keeps telling me, for me, because of this deep looking and then wanting to avoid the directness of it, to stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. And then just keep returning to the focus on light, and then looking at the desire as the light, rather than get up into the story of it. So it's a very gentle, simple, direct process. And it's really beautiful, because you just start to see the sameness, how the light, you can put any desire in the light and it starts to dissolve, dissipate, and the energy may come up, but it starts to dissipate. And then there's just like this clearing of it that occurs. And it's just powerful joining that to see what is already joined, that we are whole and complete and one mind. And so we see this through joining with our brother, that we can bring, or we can just bring it. We can bring it to the table, and hold hands, and just be with us together the whole way through. He's promised us supreme happiness. So. And there are times that that seems like impossible. But with this process, it's just going to the desire. Okay, Jesus, I'm not at peace right now. What do I need to see? And the consistency of that is just washes out the denials. And so, yeah, it's. What I'm learning is just how to to be with the desire. And then see the choice that comes with this, and that as infinite being, as divine being, we have all the power to see differently, which is a gift that's beyond measure. It's beyond words. And it's here for all of us, and everyone can hear Jesus. And it's just an invaluable gift that he's offering through this direct looking at desires to deny divinity with him. And then the light circles are another part of this. Devotion to seeing what's true. That's very helpful, because a lot of desires can be looked at in a light circle in a single setting, and then we join after a light circle, and then we join for an hour a day, or around an hour a day for chapter 20. So
I'm feeling a prompt to piggyback off of something you said about the power of looking at these desires and the it's almost like a concept, supreme happiness. And it's like, for me, what occurs here is just this, like, what? You've got to be kidding me, supreme happiness? No way. However, in having worked with the inner voice, worked with spirit, worked with Jesus so devotedly, as Renee was saying, in releasing desires, what begins to occur is the spaciousness to be able to recognize, or to begin to allow myself to experience happiness. I remember, 10 or 15 years ago saying, I don't think I've ever been happy. I mean, there's like spots, little things. Oh yeah, da 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 da. And so I have a story about what happiness is. But to think that it's possible for supreme happiness. So what I'm hearing is that through this process of going through chapter 20 and releasing the desires, that all the energy that's locked up in the unconscious, that's locked up in these beliefs and these desires, begins to dissipate. And this is something Renee just spoke to also. And without my even consciously sometimes recognizing the power of the process, there is an openness that starts to grow to not speak about and not be able to explain in words or concepts, but an direct experience of well-being, peace, and dare I say supreme happiness, which really still kind of kind of escapes me, but it's not, it doesn't occur like my mind is used to thinking things should occur. I do this and then this occurs. It's more a letting go and allowing Spirit, Jesus, to reinterpret and see that there's no power in these desires and beliefs and concepts, that I'm the one that gave them all their power. And as I release that power, I release that energy through giving it over to seeing it differently through Jesus' reinterpretation, then there is this spaciousness that occurs that allows for that direct experience of happiness.
Yeah, there's definitely a lightheartedness to all of it, and we laugh a lot when we see we're looking at something that we think is so serious, and there's so much energy and it feels so real, and we just in through the joining, just that focus on light and just staying with it. It's like, oh wow, okay, it goes, it just goes, and then there's no even recognition of it, recollection of it. It completely goes. And so he was reminding me just how it's like we go with him until he says we're done. So we just go with this. We just stay with it. That's another thing that I hear a lot from him, is this encouragement to stay with it no matter what's coming up, because a lot can seem to come up that seems to get in the way of direct looking. But just the more we stay with it, the more we see the immediate effects. It's immediate. It's like, wow, what's here right now? And then how am I denying that? And it becomes so simple. It's Kay mentions this, there's light, there's only light, and then there's the no to that. And so that's what this practice is just looking at all the ways that we say no to light, that we want to kill the light out of awareness. And chapter 20 addresses all the core beliefs and desires from A Course in Miracles that are in the below the level of awareness. That so we need Jesus to show us, and this is coming back again and again and again through all the brothers that are joining this, that I need him to show me, because there's just a willingness to see, okay, I've been wrong, and I'm wrong about everything, and but it's a happy humbling wrong, rather than like, oh man, what did I do to myself? And then we joke about being like in the bubble. There's the dream bubble that probably we'll have to post a link for that too, and that goes into more detail of honesty of God and some other helpful concepts that can be used. Concepts, I guess, is higher order thoughts of God to that point to infinite being, and that keep us focused. So it's a diagram, and it's showing also the what we're talking about, how there's light, infinite light, and then there's the denial, and just seeing it that clearly. But yeah, I don't have a picture of it, or else I could show you, but we'll post a link for that. And we can ask right now if there's anything else that Jesus wants us to share.
What I'm hearing is the value of doing what we're doing, of the chapter 20 partners doing what we're doing. And that is making a Zoom post, and maybe every 2 weeks or something like that, in which you do what we did. You start with the light and you ask for guidance and what to look at, and then you share something that came up, or that Jesus was teaching you, the Holy Spirit was teaching about a particular belief or desire, and what you were told, what you now can use to reinterpret these desires and beliefs, and then watching them, and then sending them to the center, because we will show them to others, and it becomes the gift that keeps on giving, the value of the experience that each of us has, and can bring to others, bring to our partner, bring to others that are also going through chapter 20 is just immense. Yeah, there are things that your partner may see and bring up and be guided to say that I know in my case that I would not have thought of, but it opens up a whole new vista, if you will, and a whole new focus and place to look that is healing. Yeah.
Yeah, when I started out with, because I've went through chapter 20 a couple times, and the first Mighty I went through it with, the assignment given by Jesus was record your joining every day. And so we did that, and what we did was we went on to Zoom, my partner and I here at the center, and we recorded our meeting locally. So it was just on our computer. It wasn't going out to anyone. It was just for us. And then we also broadcasted live on YouTube, but we set it to private so that it would just be for those who had access to our channel. So here at the center. So we have an archive of videos. And so you can do that. You can have like an archive of video joinings, and then you just ask Jesus for guidance as far as what is to be shared and what not, and you learn discernment, and you can join with your brother, your chapter 20 partner. We also have other opportunities for joining through Joining Express, and many ways to learn how to listen, speak, and follow Jesus. So it feels actually really complete right now. Just want to say thank you from my heart, and thank you, Mary, for sharing. And we'll see you. We'll probably, the plan right now is to have these joinings every 2 weeks. So we invite you to join us in 2 weeks. Come and share your experiences. And you can just review those questions. I'll state them again. What desires did you look at with Jesus this week? What did he teach you about these desires? Are there some desires that seemed easier or harder to release to miracles? And any other questions you have that come in? We also have the Facebook Messenger group through the Joining in Light Devotional Center page that you can connect with us there. We have a website. We have more opportunities for extension and
Joining.
Yeah, joining coming. So there's no stopping this. All right. Love you all. Peace.